Hey, what's up guys, and welcome in this new tutorial where I'm gonna show you how to add energy to weak tech house tracks. So before starting with this tutorial, I would like to remind you that all of the samples are from our new pack Django, which is a Groovy Tech House collection that includes one-shots, loops, construction kits, and also 2 free sample packs. So check it out from the link in the description. So first of all, let's have a listen to this loop that we've made here. Yeah, really basic. We have a kick, bass line, and some drums. So the first thing that you can do to add a bit more energy to your tracks is to see it from a spectrum point of view. So try to fill in the spectrum. Here, for example, we have a span on the master so that we can see the frequency spectrum. So one thing that we can do to fill all of the spectrum is to add some kind of white noise or vinyl effect. So we have this one here inside of Django, and now let's open up an EQ. So as you can see here, this texture effect is covering pretty much all of the mid-top frequencies, which is more or less what we're looking for. We don't want to have too much mess around the low frequency area because it might interfere with the kick and the bass line. So we're simply gonna keep this sound in the background. We're gonna reduce the volume a lot. You can hear that is adding a bit of movement in the background and in general is making the track a bit more dynamic. If we go back to the span here, we open up the frequency spectrum. If we put it on hold, we can see that we have a big gap here in the mid frequencies. And this is totally normal in an house or tech house tracks where we don't have synths or vocals, but we can still try to boost a bit this section to add a bit more presence and a bit more fatness. So the elements that usually sit in the frequency range are the percussion. So I'm gonna group them. So here we have this percussion loop and this other loop that we made ourselves. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on the first bass that we have here, and we're gonna start with another reverb. I like to go with the drum room reverb. Then I'm gonna put a bit of saturation. You can use the overdrive or the saturator, and then some compression. We can go for some parallel compression, and we're gonna add a bit of this bass to the percussion group. Yeah, and this is basically adding a bit more body and a bit more fatness in the mid ranges, so that we will have more energy in this frequency area. So moving on, we have another really important trick to add some energy, which is to simply layer some elements. So the most common layer that you can add in a tech house track is a top bass line. So we have this bass line, which is simply a Serum preset from from our pack Mirage Volume 4, and it sounds like this. Now we're gonna simply duplicate and call this one main and this one top. We're gonna add an EQ, so we're going with the Pro Q3. We're gonna use it linear phase to avoid phase issues, and we're gonna cut everything below around 200 Hz. And maybe we're gonna look for some other presets. Yeah, something like this. So usually I try to go for a more plucky sound like this one, so that you are really feeling the attack of the top bass line. Another thing that you can layer once again are the percussions. Here, however, you have to be very careful, because you might do too much and the elements in the different percussion loops might overlap and just create a big mess. So instead of Django, you have this free bonus pack which is called Makossa, and you have quite a lot of tribal drum loops. So we're simply gonna pick for example some congas and add them here. Now the trick here is that we're not gonna use the full loop, but we're gonna have this first one, which is gonna be our main percussion. And then we are gonna go into our new loop and we're just gonna try to fill the gaps. And I think that the easiest way to do this is to go into the automation section of the clip, then select clip gain, and then with the pencil tool we are just gonna remove all the elements that are overlapping with our previous percussion loop. So we're gonna remove all of these, also these. We can leave this one because here this is not that loud, and then we can remove the rest, I think. And yeah, probably we can copy it again for the second bar and so on, something like this. Let's hear now the conga loop, while the full loop is this one. Let's hear it with the previous percussion loop. In this way you can add many more percussion loops, just making sure that they are not overlapping and they are covering different parts of the track. Moving on, another tip to add energy to your tracks might be adding some stubs or fills. So the easiest one that you can do here is adding a double kick. So there are many ways that you can do that. You can add it at the beginning. Usually recommend to reduce a bit the velocity of the second kick drum. So like this at the beginning of the drop or towards the end to add some variation. Yeah, and this is in general the easiest way to create a fill, or you can make some stubs with some synths. So I'm gonna go into the Serum once again, and I'm gonna use our Mirage 4. I think we can still go with the bass line and create some kind of, let's see the key first of all, we are in C, so we can create some kind of plucky bass sound here. So let's remove a bit of the lows here. I'm gonna use the Pro EQ3 in linear phase. Let's add some sidechain here with the track spacer. Actually make it a bit faster. Maybe we need another preset. Something like this, or we can also add some chords. So inside of this Mirage 4 Serum pack you have some chords as well, so maybe you can add it here. So we are in C minor, so no, we are in C major actually. We are gonna create this simple stub, maybe a bit longer. Yeah, this is a bit too melodic for this track. Then we can copy it here, for example. Yeah, something like this, and you can add as many variations as you want. You hear a lot of tech house tracks today that have really a lot of elements coming in and out, so a lot of fills, stubs, and you can really make your tracks unique and more creative. The final tip to add a bit more energy is to automate the parameters of your synths. So the main two parameters that you can look at are the filter cutoff and the envelope. So all the ADSR settings can be automated and then they can create some really good effects. So let's start with the cutoff. So this is a really basic one. So like this, really easy. Then you can automate the release, for example. So this one also is used a lot and it's very useful. Or you can automate the decay. So in this case we only have this baseline that we can automate, but obviously you can also do it with synths, pads and everything that comes out of a synthesizer. And yeah, basically these are the most common ways that you can add energy to a weak tech house tracks. Don't forget to check out Django from the link in the description below. Let us know what tutorial would you like to see next, and I'll see you soon. Bye!